The gap between growth and survival is the real line that separates a rich mindset from a poor one. A poor mindset is obsessed with getting through the day, the week, or the month without problems. It thinks in terms of bills, fear, and immediate safety. A rich mindset thinks beyond survival. It asks how to expand, improve, and build something that lasts. This difference in focus shapes every decision a person makes, often without them realizing it. When someone operates in survival mode, their thinking becomes narrow. The brain prioritizes avoiding loss instead of creating opportunity. Every decision is filtered through fear of running out of money, fear of instability, fear of making mistakes. This mindset leads to defensive choices. People choose jobs they hate because they feel secure. They avoid learning new skills because it feels risky. They settle for predictable routines because uncertainty feels dangerous. Survival thinking is not about progress, it is about staying afloat. Growth-focused thinking works differently. It accepts short-term discomfort in exchange for long-term improvement. Instead of asking, how do I avoid problems? It asks, how do I increase my capacity? People with a growth mindset understand that pressure is not something to escape, but something to use. They deliberately put themselves in situations that stretch their abilities because they know expansion only happens under demand. A survival mindset treats problems as threats. When something goes wrong, panic sets in. Emotions take control. People complain, blame circumstances, or wait for rescue. Growth mindset treats problems as information. Instead of reacting emotionally, it analyzes what went wrong, what needs to change, what skill is missing. This shift from emotional reaction to strategic response is critical. One mindset stays stuck, the other evolves. Poor mindset focuses on consumption because survival thinking is short-term. It asks, how can I feel safe or comfortable right now? Money is spent to relieve stress, impress others, or escape boredom. Time is spent on distractions because the future feels uncertain and overwhelming. Growth mindset invests. It delays comfort. It understands that what you build today determines how you live tomorrow. Time, money, and energy are treated as seeds, not rewards. Survival thinking also avoids responsibility. Responsibility feels heavy when you're focused on just getting by. It feels like pressure you can't afford. Growth mindset welcomes responsibility because responsibility brings control. The more problems you can handle, the more valuable you become. The more responsibility you carry, the more influence and opportunity you gain. One mindset runs from weight, the other trains to carry more. Another major difference is how effort is viewed. Survival mindset wants minimum effort for maximum safety. It looks for shortcuts, easy paths, and guaranteed outcomes. Growth mindset expects effort. It knows progress is earned, not given. Hard work is not seen as punishment, but as training. Each challenge builds skill, discipline, and confidence. One mindset resents effort, the other respects it. Survival mindset is reactive. It waits for things to happen, then responds. It lives in response mode, responding to bills, bosses, problems, and emergencies. Growth mindset is proactive. Plans, prepares, and acts before problems appear. It creates options instead of reacting to limitations. This proactive behavior compounds over time, creating leverage and freedom. Fear plays a central role in survival thinking. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of loss. These fears keep goals small and actions cautious. Growth mindset does not eliminate fear, but it refuses to obey it. Fear becomes a signal, not a stop sign. If something feels uncomfortable, it's often a sign that growth is nearby. Those who grow learn to move while afraid instead of waiting to feel safe. Survival mindset measures success by stability. As long as things are not falling apart, it feels successful. Growth mindset measures success by progress. It asks whether capacity, skill, income, impact are increasing. stability without growth eventually becomes stagnation. Growth mindset understands that staying still is actually moving backward in a competitive world. Another key difference is how time is perceived. Survival mindset sees time as something to endure. Days are something to get through. Growth mindset sees time as an asset to be invested. Every day is an opportunity to compound effort. This difference shapes daily habits. One wastes time unconsciously, the other uses it deliberately. Survival mindset is emotionally driven. Mood determines action. When motivation is low, effort stops. Growth mindset is discipline. Standards remain regardless of feelings. This consistency builds reliability and self-trust. Over time, disciplined action produces confidence that does not depend on external circumstances. Most importantly, survival mindset keeps people trapped at the level they start. Growth mindset creates upward movement. One asks, how do I protect what I have? The other asks, how do I become more? This single difference explains why some people stay stuck for decades while others transform their lives. The rich mindset is not about money first. It is about expansion first. Growth creates value. Value attracts money. Survival creates limits. Limits create scarcity. The mindset you practice daily determines which direction your life moves forward into growth or sideways into survival. The way you see money determines how it behaves in your life. A poor mindset treats money as comfort. A rich mindset treats money as a tool. This single distinction explains why some people earn more yet stay broke, while others start with very little and steadily build wealth. Comfort thinking consumes money. Tool thinking deploys it. One weakens your future, the other strengthens it. When money is seen as comfort, it becomes emotional. It is used to feel safe, happy, respected, or distracted. People spend to relieve stress, reward themselves, or escape boredom. Purchases are justified by feelings rather than outcomes. Money becomes a temporary solution to emotional problems, which guarantees it will never stay long. The relief phase and the cycle repeats. Earn, spend, worry, repeat. This mindset also links money to identity. People buy things to feel important, successful, or equal to others. Image matters more than function. Instead of asking what money can build, they ask what money can buy right now. This leads to lifestyle inflation, expenses rising with income, ensuring that no matter how much is earned, freedom never arrives. Comfort consumes everything it touches. A rich mindset removes emotion from money. Money is neutral. It is not happiness, status, or security. It is leverage. It is fuel. It is a tool to create options, time, and control. And rich-minded individuals don't ask how money makes them feel. They ask what money can do. Can it generate more income? Can it buy time? Can it reduce dependence? Can it increase capacity? When money is treated as a tool, spending becomes strategic. Every decision is filtered through return, not pleasure. This doesn't mean rich-minded people never enjoy money. It means enjoyment is intentional, not impulsive. Comfort is delayed so that power can be built. Short-term pleasure is sacrificed for long-term freedom. This trade-off is uncomfortable, which is why most people avoid it. Poor mindset uses money to escape discomfort. Rich mindset uses money to eliminate future discomfort permanently. One avoids pain now. The other prevents pain later. This difference compounds dramatically over time. Spending for comfort creates temporary relief and permanent dependence. Investing as a tool creates temporary discomfort and permanent leverage. Another critical difference is how risk is viewed. Poor mindset sees money as something to protect because losing it feels catastrophic. This fear leads to hoarding or reckless spending, both driven by emotion. Rich mindset understands that unused money loses power. It accepts calculated risk because money's purpose is movement. Stagnant money does nothing. Deployed money creates outcomes. Treating money as a tool also changes learning behavior. Rich-minded individuals invest in skills, knowledge, and relationships because these multiply earning potential. Poor-minded individuals avoid these investments because they don't provide immediate comfort. Spending on education systems or growth feels painful in the moment, so it's postponed indefinitely. Comfort thinking always undervalues the future. Comfort-based money thinking also keeps people dependent on income instead of outcomes. They focus on how much they make, not how much value they create. Rich mindset focuses on value first. Income becomes a byproduct. Money is directed towards systems that produce results repeatedly, not one-time satisfaction. Another trap of treating money as comfort is urgency. When money runs low, panic sets in. Decisions become reactive and emotional. Rich mindset plans ahead. Money is allocated with intention, buffers are built, and decisions are made calmly. This emotional stability leads to better outcomes and fewer mistakes. Comfort mindset also resists accountability. When money disappears, blame shifts outward: low salary, high prices, bad luck. Tool mindset demands responsibility. Every dollar has an assignment. Waste is identified, corrected, and eliminated. This discipline builds trust with oneself, which is essential for long-term wealth. Rich-minded people also understand opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on comfort is a dollar not working elsewhere. Poor mindset ignores this invisible cost. It only sees what is gained now, not what is lost later. Tool thinking considers alternatives. It asks what this money could become if used differently. This perspective alone transforms financial behavior. Using money as a tool also changes patience levels. Poor mindset wants fast relief. Rich mindset accepts slow accumulation. It understands compounding. Small, consistent, strategic use of money over time creates exponential results. Comfort thinking interrupts compounding by constantly resetting progress to zero through consumption. Ultimately, money reflects discipline. Treating money as comfort reinforces emotional decision-making. Treating money as a tool reinforces strategic thinking. One weakens self-control, the other strengthens it. Over time, this shapes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who spends what they earn and start seeing yourself as someone who builds with what they control. Wealth is not about how much money passes through your hands. It is about how much power you extract from each dollar. Comfort uses money once. Tools use money repeatedly. This is why the rich mindset grows stronger over time while the poor mindset stays stuck, regardless of income. Responsibility is the dividing line between growth and stagnation. Poor mindset avoids responsibility because it feels heavy, stressful, and unfair. A rich mindset embraces responsibility because it brings control, power, and opportunity. This difference shapes outcomes more than talent, education, or starting point ever will. Where one mindset looks for reasons, the other looks for results. Excuses are comforting because they remove pressure. When something goes wrong, the poor mindset immediately looks outward, blaming the economy, the system, the family background, bad luck, or other people. This response feels relieving in the moment because it protects the ego. If the problem isn't your fault, then you don't have to change. But that relief comes at a cost. Every excuse gives away control. And without control, progress is impossible. The rich mindset understands a hard truth. You may not be responsible for everything that happens to you, but you are responsible for everything that happens next. This shift is powerful. It moves a person from victimhood to ownership. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? The question becomes, what am I going to do about it? That single question activates problem solving instead of complaining. Poor mindset treats responsibility as punishment. More responsibility means more stress, more work, more pressure. So it avoids it. It stays in roles with limited accountability, limited decision making, and limited upside. This avoidance feels safe, but it caps growth permanently. If you refuse responsibility, you also refuse influence, income, and independence. Rich mindset sees responsibility as leverage. The more problems you can solve, the more valuable you become. The more pressure you can handle, the more opportunities come your way. Responsibility is not something to escape, it is something to train for. Every added responsibility increases skill, confidence, and capacity. Over time, this compounds into leadership and wealth. Excuses also distort reality. When people explain away failures instead of owning them, they miss the lesson. Growth requires accurate feedback. Excuses blur feedback. They protect feelings but block learning. Rich-minded individuals are ruthless with self-honesty. They look at results and ask what they did wrong, even when external factors played a role. This honesty accelerates improvement. Poor mindset says, that's not my fault. Rich mindset says, that's my problem now. One mindset waits to be rescued. The other becomes resourceful. Resourcefulness is born from responsibility. When you accept responsibility, you stop waiting and start figuring things out. This is how skill is built, not in ideal conditions, but in messy, unfair ones. Another difference is how responsibility affects confidence. Poor mindset relies on external validation. Confidence rises and falls based on praise, approval, or circumstances. Rich mindset builds confidence internally by repeatedly handling responsibility. Each problem solved becomes proof of capability. Confidence becomes stable because it's backed by experience, not opinion. Excuses also keep people dependent. If your problems are always caused by something outside you, then solutions must also come from outside you. This creates dependence on bosses, systems, luck, or timing. Rich mindset rejects this dependency. It focuses on what can be controlled: skills, effort, decisions, and attitude. This focus creates independence over time. Poor mindset often sounds reasonable. It uses logic to justify an action. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right connections. I wasn't given the same opportunities. These statements may contain truth, but they lead nowhere. Rich mindset asks a better question. Given my situation, what is the smartest move available right now? This question produces action instead of stagnation. Responsibility also changes how setbacks are handled. Poor mindset collapses under setbacks because they feel personal and unfair. Excuses multiply, energy drops. Rich mindset treats setbacks as part of the process. Ownership remains, adjustments are made, momentum continues. This resilience is not emotional, it is structural. It comes from a habit of responsibility. Another key difference is standards. Poor mindset lowers standards when things get difficult. Rich mindset raises standards when pressure increases. Responsibility increases with it. This creates strength under stress. Over time, what once felt overwhelming becomes normal. This is how high performers are built, by gradually expanding what they can handle. Excuses also poison culture. In teams, families, or businesses, excuse-making spreads quickly. Responsibility creates trust. When people own outcomes, even bad ones, collaboration improves. Rich-minded leaders build environments where ownership is expected and excuses are eliminated. This accelerates results and attracts other high performers. Taking responsibility also forces growth in uncomfortable areas. You can't hide weaknesses when you own outcomes. Skill gaps become obvious. Discipline issues are exposed. This discomfort is productive. It directs effort where it matters most. Poor mindset avoids this discomfort by shifting blame. Rich mindset uses it as a roadmap for improvement. Ultimately, wealth follows responsibility. The more responsibility you can carry without collapsing, the more value you can create. The market rewards those who solve problems, manage pressure, and deliver results consistently. Excuses offer emotional comfort, but no progress. Responsibility offers discomfort, but unlimited upside. The difference between rich and poor mindset is not intelligence or effort, it is ownership. One mindset protects itself with explanations, the other builds itself with accountability. Over time, excuses keep people exactly where they are. Responsibility pulls people forward whether they feel ready or not. Long-term thinking is one of the clearest separators between a rich mindset and a poor mindset. A poor mindset is dominated by short-term comfort, immediate rewards, and quick relief. Decisions are made based on how something feels right now rather than what it produces later. A rich mindset, on the other hand, is willing to tolerate short-term discomfort in exchange for long-term gains. This difference quietly shapes habits, choices, and ultimately outcomes over years. Short-term thinking is emotional. It asks what feels easiest today, or what gives me pleasure right now. This mindset avoids effort, delay, and sacrifice. It chooses entertainment over education, spending over investing, comfort over growth. None of these choices look destructive in isolation, which is why they are so dangerous. Over time, these small decisions compound into missed opportunities and limited progress. Long-term thinking is strategic. It asks, what will this decision cost or create 5 years from now? Rich-minded individuals understand that life rewards patience and consistency. They know that the pain of discipline is temporary while the pain of regret lasts much longer. Because of this, they train themselves to delay gratification even when it feels uncomfortable or unpopular. A poor mindset often wants success without the waiting period. It wants results without repetition, money without mastery, and confidence without experience. This impatience leads to jumping from one thing to another, quitting early, or chasing shortcuts. When results don't come quickly, motivation collapses. The belief forms that success is luck-based or reserved for others. A rich mindset respects time as a multiplier. Small actions done consistently over long periods create massive outcomes. Reading daily, training regularly, investing slowly, building skill patiently, these behaviors don't look impressive in the beginning. But rich-minded people trust the process because they understand compounding. They know that what looks insignificant today can become unstoppable tomorrow. Short-term thinking also creates reactive behavior. Decisions are made based on moods, circumstances, or pressure from others. When things get hard, the poor mindset looks for escape. It lowers standards, changes goals, or distracts itself. Long-term thinkers remain anchored to their vision even when emotions fluctuate. They don't let temporary discomfort override permanent goals. Money habits clearly reveal this difference. Poor mindset spends first and thinks later. Rich mindset thinks first and spends intentionally. One chases status and appearances. The other focuses on stability and growth. One asks, can I afford this right now? The other asks, what will this cost me in the future? This future-based thinking protects resources and builds leverage over time. Long-term thinking also affects learning. A poor mindset wants fast knowledge with minimal effort. It looks for hacks, summaries, and shortcuts while avoiding depth. A rich mindset commits to mastery. It understands that skill development takes time, repetition, and failure. Instead of rushing the process, it embraces it. This creates rare competence, which the world rewards heavily. Relationships are another area where long-term thinking matters. Poor mindset burns bridges for short-term wins, ego satisfaction, or emotional reactions. Rich mindset protects reputation and trust even when it's inconvenient. It understands that relationships compound just like money. Trust built over years can open doors that talent alone never could. Short-term thinkers often confuse movement with progress. They stay busy but not effective. They react instead of plan. Long-term thinkers prioritize clarity. They are selective with commitments and deliberate with time. They don't need constant excitement because they are driven by purpose rather than stimulation. Discipline plays a major role here. Short-term mindset relies on motivation, which is unstable. Long-term mindset relies on systems and habits. Rich-minded individuals design routines that make progress inevitable even on low-energy days. They don't negotiate with feelings. They execute based on identity and goals. Fear also behaves differently under these mindsets. Poor mindset fears temporary discomfort more than permanent failure. Rich mindset fears wasted potential more than short-term pain. This flips behavior. One avoids challenge to stay comfortable. The other seeks challenge to grow stronger. Over time, comfort weakens and challenge strengthens. Long-term thinking doesn't mean ignoring the present. It means using the present wisely. Rich-minded people still enjoy life, but they do so without sabotaging the future. They understand balance, not indulgence. Poor mindset uses enjoyment as escape. Rich mindset uses it as recovery. The gap between where people are and where they want to be is usually time combined with consistency. Poor mindset underestimates how long success takes and overestimates how hard it is. Rich mindset understands that progress is slow, boring, and repetitive and commits anyway. This patience becomes a competitive advantage. Every major achievement is delayed. The work is done long before the reward appears. Poor mindset quits in the invisible phase. Rich mindset stays because it knows results lag behind effort. This belief keeps action alive even when there is no immediate proof. In the end, short-term thinking traps people in cycles of reaction, frustration, and stagnation. Long-term thinking builds momentum, clarity, and confidence. The difference is not intelligence or opportunity, it is the willingness to delay comfort today for freedom tomorrow. A rich mindset understands that risk and discomfort are not enemies, they are the price of growth. A poor mindset sees risk as danger and discomfort as something to escape. This single difference controls how far a person is willing to go in life. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to tolerate the uncertainty, fear, and pain that come with it. Those who are willing move forward. Those who are not stay exactly where they are. Avoiding discomfort feels logical in the short term. The brain is wired to seek safety and familiarity. A poor mindset obeys this instinct without question. It chooses predictable routines, familiar environments, and guaranteed outcomes even when those outcomes are small. This mindset would rather accept limited results than face the anxiety of the unknown. Over time, this avoidance becomes a habit, and the comfort zone becomes a prison. A rich mindset sees discomfort as feedback. It understands that growth feels uncomfortable because it demands change. Learning new skills feels awkward. Taking responsibility feels heavy. Leading others feels stressful. Making big decisions feels risky. Instead of running from these feelings, rich-minded individuals lean into them. They associate discomfort with progress and stagnation with danger. Risk is often misunderstood. A poor mindset believes risk means recklessness or gambling. A rich mindset understands calculated risk. It means stepping into uncertainty after preparation, not waiting for perfect conditions that never come. Every meaningful opportunity carries risk. Starting a business, changing careers, investing money, speaking up, leading a team. Avoiding risk doesn't make life safer, it makes it smaller. Poor mindset prefers guaranteed outcomes, even if those outcomes are mediocre. This is why many people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, or routines that limit them. The fear of losing what they have is stronger than the desire to gain something better. Rich mindset flips this equation. It fears wasted potential more than temporary loss. Discomfort also exposes weaknesses. Poor mindset avoids it because it doesn't want to feel inadequate, judged, or challenged. Rich mindset welcomes exposure because it reveals what needs improvement. Being uncomfortable shows where skills are lacking, where discipline is weak, and where mindset needs strengthening. Instead of taking this personally, rich-minded individuals use it as data. Every level of success demands a higher tolerance for discomfort. What was uncomfortable yesterday becomes normal tomorrow. The rich mindset adapts continuously. It raises standards and expectations. The poor mindset resists adaptation. It clings to old identities and outdated habits because change threatens its sense of security. Risk builds confidence. Each time someone takes a risk and survives, regardless of the outcome, their capacity expands. Even failure builds strength because it proves survival. Poor mindset never collects this evidence because it rarely takes the leap. As a result, fear remains large and unchallenged. Rich mindset shrinks fear through repeated exposure. Discomfort is also tied to discipline. Waking up early, training when tired, studying instead of scrolling, saving instead of spending. None of these feel good in the moment. Poor mindset avoids these actions because they are uncomfortable now. Rich mindset chooses them because they produce freedom later. This is not willpower, it is perspective. Social pressure plays a role. Poor mindset avoids discomfort because it fears judgment. It wants approval, validation, and belonging. Rich mindset understands that standing out often requires standing alone. Doing what others want means being misunderstood. Instead of seeking comfort through acceptance, rich-minded people seek growth through conviction. Risk tolerance also shapes opportunity. Opportunities rarely come with guarantees. They come disguised as uncertainty, responsibility, and effort. Poor mindset waits for clarity before acting. Rich mindset acts to create clarity. This bias toward action separates leaders from followers. While one waits, the other learns through movement. Discomfort strengthens decision-making. When someone regularly chooses hard things, emotional reactions lose control. Fear no longer dominates choices. Rich-minded individuals train themselves to act based on logic and long-term vision rather than short-term feelings. Poor mindset allows emotions to dictate behavior, which leads to inconsistency and regret. Avoiding discomfort doesn't eliminate pain, it postpones it. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret compounds. The rich mindset understands this trade-off early. Poor mindset discovers it late, often when options are limited and time is gone. This is why embracing discomfort early is an advantage. Risk also creates leverage. Those willing to risk more responsibility earn more influence. Those willing to risk failure gain more experience. Those willing to risk comfort gain more control over their future. Playing safe keeps life predictable but capped. Playing smart but bold opens doors that caution never will. Discomfort reveals identity when things get hard. Excuses appear. Poor mindset listens to them. Rich mindset rejects them. It doesn't ask, how do I escape this? It asks, how do I grow through this? That question changes behavior immediately. Growth is not found in ease. Strength is not built in comfort. Confidence is not developed in safety. Every version of success requires walking through uncertainty with incomplete information and shaky confidence. Rich mindset accepts this reality and moves anyway. Poor mindset waits for fear to disappear and waits forever. Those who embrace risk and discomfort don't do it because they enjoy pain. They do it because they understand the cost of avoidance. They choose temporary struggle over permanent limitation. That choice, repeated daily, creates a gap so wide that outcomes eventually look unfair to those who never made it. Failure is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. A poor mindset sees failure as a stop sign, a verdict on intelligence, ability, or worth. A rich mindset sees failure as information, feedback, and part of the process. This difference determines whether failure ends a journey or strengthens it. Everyone fails. The only real difference is what people do after it happens. A poor mindset takes failure personally. When something doesn't work, it becomes an identity issue. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough, or this just isn't for me. The failure is internalized as proof that success belongs to others. This emotional reaction shuts down curiosity and action. Instead of asking what went wrong, the poor mindset asks why it always goes wrong for them. That question leads nowhere. A rich mindset separates self-worth from outcomes. Failure is not a character flaw, it is a result. When something fails, the rich mindset analyzes it without ego. What assumptions were wrong? What skills were missing? What decisions were rushed? This turns failure into a teacher instead of a judge. Learning replaces shame and progress continues. Fear of failure keeps the poor mindset small. To avoid failing, it avoids trying. It chooses safe goals, low expectations, and minimal exposure. This creates the illusion of stability while silently killing growth. By trying to avoid failure, the poor mindset guarantees mediocrity. You can't fail big if you never attempt anything meaningful. The rich mindset understands that failure is unavoidable at higher levels. Bigger goals require bigger risks, and bigger risks increase the chance of failure. This is not discouraging, it's clarifying. It means failure is not a sign you're doing something wrong, it's a sign you're playing at the right level. Rich-minded individuals expect failure and prepare for it mentally instead of being shocked by it. Failure also reveals gaps. Poor mindset hides from those gaps because they are uncomfortable. Rich mindset exposes them intentionally. If a business fails, it reveals gaps in strategy, leadership, or execution. If a career stalls, it reveals gaps in skill or discipline. These gaps are valuable because they show exactly where growth is required. Avoiding failure keeps those gaps hidden and permanent. Many people quit not because they failed, but because failure embarrassed them. Poor mindset is highly sensitive to judgment. It worries about how failure looks to others. Rich mindset prioritizes progress over appearance. It understands that public opinion has no long-term value compared to private growth. Temporary embarrassment is a small price to pay for long-term capability. Failure builds resilience when handled correctly. Each time someone fails and continues, their tolerance for pressure increases. Fear loses its grip. The rich mindset becomes harder to discourage because it has survived setbacks before. Poor mindset never develops this toughness because it retreats at the first sign of difficulty. As a result, even small obstacles feel overwhelming. There is also a timing difference. Poor mindset wants immediate success and interprets delay as failure. Rich mindset understands that progress is rarely linear. Setbacks, plateaus, and mistakes are expected. This patience keeps effort consistent even when results fluctuate. Poor mindset stops too early because it mislabels temporary struggle as permanent defeat. Failure trains decision making. Poor mindset avoids responsibility to avoid blame. Rich mindset accepts responsibility to gain clarity. When decisions lead to failure, they become lessons in judgment. Over time, this creates sharper instincts and better choices. People who never fail never refine their decision making because they never test it. The learning process itself requires failure. You cannot master anything without mistakes. Poor mindset wants to look competent before it is competent. Rich mindset accepts looking inexperienced while becoming capable. This willingness to be bad at something before being good at it accelerates growth dramatically. Failure also filters commitment. When things go wrong, poor mindset looks for exits. Rich mindset looks for adjustments. This difference compounds. One keeps restarting from zero. The other builds an experience even when outcomes are disappointing. Over time, experience becomes leverage. Many successful people have failed more times than others have tried. The rich mindset understands this math. More attempts equal more data. More data equals better strategy. Poor mindset avoids attempts to protect ego, but ego protection is expensive. It costs opportunity, skill, and momentum. Blame is another divider. Poor mindset blames circumstances, people, timing, or luck when failure occurs. This preserves comfort but kills control. Rich mindset looks inward first, not to self-attack but to self-correct. Ownership turns failure into power. Blame turns failure into a prison. Failure also tests identity. Poor mindset asks, what if this proves I'm not meant for this? Rich mindset asks, what does this require me to become? One question shrinks possibility. The other expands it. Identity shifts based on interpretation. Avoiding failure delays growth. Embracing it accelerates it. Rich-minded individuals don't seek failure, but they don't fear it either. They respect it as part of the process. They recover faster, learn deeper, and move forward stronger. Poor mindset stays stuck replaying mistakes instead of extracting lessons. In the end, failure doesn't stop people, interpretation does. Those who are stopped by failure give it authority. Those who learn from failure use it as fuel. Over time, this difference becomes visible in confidence, competence, and results. Failure is inevitable. Being defeated by it is optional.